Hello everyone, and welcome to my little how-to on how to play through your first game of Civ. Now, it's not going to be very extensive, it's probably going to span for the first few turns, but it'll be helpful. Also, some of the stuff that is shown might not work because some of it is exclusive to the two expansions, Brave New World and Gods and Kings, so some of this stuff you might have to buy those for. But other than that, you should be good. So, first thing you do, you go to the menu. There should be hit single player and set up game. Then you pick a leader. With all the expansions and DLC, you get a total of 43 leaders, and each one has its own special abilities, units, and buildings instead of a unit. So, Rome gets 25% production towards any buildings that already exist in the capital, as well as the special units Ballista and Legion. And for this how-to, I'm going to be playing as the Japanese, who get units fight with full strength even when damaged, because units usually do less damage when they're damage themselves, and a culture for fishing boats, and 2 for atolls. And I get the samurai, which are a Renaissance unit, medieval type thing, and then the 0, which is a bomber. That's late game. So click that. First, then you choose a map type. You can hit random, continents, Pangea, Archipelago, Fractal, or Earth, just normally. And I would recommend continents or Earth for your first game, and I'm just going to go for Earth. And then maps dies. Anything through standard, I'd say standard through tiny are good for your first game, but you can go ahead and choose what you want. Then always choose standard for your first game. Everything else should be good. Make sure you have all the victory types on early, because this is your first time, and time victory is probably your best chance at winning. Other than that, it's your choice, really, but other than that, just hit start game. And I'm going to pause it real fast because there's this loading screen that... Okay, everyone, I'm back. And here we go, first part of the game. I'm just going to... So you have... At the beginning of the game, you get a warrior and a settler. The settler is used to found your first city, and this looks like a good enough spot, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And so 2 things that pop up is the science tree, which basically you choose science to work on. I'm going to start off with pottery, and then you choose a production for your city to work on. The top 3 you should really work on early game is the monument, which gets you culture, and culture gets you social policies, which are boosts, really. Scout, which just is used to explore, and then the worker, which improves tiles around you, giving you production, gold, and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna go for a scout right now. But before you have a scout, you should just use your warrior to check things out. So for this first bit, I'm just going to be moving around and looking at things. You can... And the things that just popped up on the screen are ancient runes. They give you special things that you will see what we get when we get there, but it's a random process unless you play as the Shoshone. They get to choose which ones they get. Apparently, I got population, which just lets you work tiles within it. The worker builds tile improvements to further that, but yeah. Just when you get your first scout, auto explore is probably one of your better options to hit, because it does it for you and you don't have to move it around as much. But yeah. And if you can see that little striped line, that usually means you're near a city-state, which are like other civilizations, but they don't really explain expand too much, and well, they just kind of work for the civilizations instead of specifically as one. And there are 2 more ruins. Good. And there's something. It's a barbarian camp. Basically, it has a unit that will attack your city and try to steal your worker if you have one. They're an inconvenience, but yeah, and one of the ruins gave me some culture that's important. So that looks like there is another city-state right next to me. There we go. See, it's a bit random, you don't really get much of a choice. Also, each tile, some resources get you things. Other things that are a bit hard to explain. And when you attack with a melee unit like the warrior, you get a, both units take damage, so that's something to keep in mind. And also, I just got this social policy, which gets you kind of the boost like I talked about earlier, so I'm just going to adopt 2, liberty and honor. Honor gives you a military boost, and liberty is helpful for expansion of your first city. And I just discovered the first science, which is useful. So now I choose one. There's a tech tree, which basically each tech you get helps you towards another. So I'm going to go for writing next. Also, when your units fight for long enough, you get promotions, which help them with fighting or heal them if you choose. Well, other than that, I think I've covered all the basics of the game. Also, each science will give you different buildings or units or bonuses. So, yeah, like, sailing gives you just primarily sea units, as well as allowing your... Oh, yeah. And that's basically it. So I hope this is useful. And also, I have a secondary set of instructions if this wasn't as useful. Step 1. Play the game. Seriously, just play the game. Are you still watching this? Just play the game.